In the heart of the deepest night, ancient lighthouses once swept the dark sea, signaling a primal hunger for connection. From the beacon fires atop the Great Wall to the rhythmic beat of bronze drums, humanity has always reached out. By the era of the telegraph, thin wires began to vibrate in the wind, carrying our first silent words. Samuel Morse's early sketches defined a new language of dots and dashes as dusty dial phones began to bridge the distance. In the laboratories of Nikola Tesla, glowing vacuum tubes and copper coils whispered the secrets of the air. We watched the oscillating needles of early radio, realizing that the atmosphere itself was a vast ocean of information. Mid-century broadcasting towers once dominated the skyline, leading us from heavy copper cables to the transparent purity of fiber optics. Like a single drop creating ripples across a silent lake, invisible waves began to connect the world. In the soft sunlight of the workshop, tiny dust particles dance over the blueprints of a digital revolution. Binary codes of zeros and ones now race across black screens as clunky antennas are replaced by microscopic circuits. A blue laser sweeps over a digital globe, mapping a world without borders. As the clean room doors swing open under positive pressure, we enter the birthplace of the modern signal, where light and logic finally become one. Glistening green PCB sheets wait under the factory lights as mesh printers apply a precise layer of solder paste. High-speed SMT robots move with surgical grace, placing components no larger than a grain of sand. At the center of this digital city, the gleaming CPU is lowered into position, forming the intelligent heart of the entire system. The boards travel through infrared reflow ovens, where molten solder solidifies into a permanent bond. Automated optical systems scan every joint with ultraviolet light, searching for perfection. To protect this delicate life from the elements, a fine mist of conformal coating is sprayed, creating a transparent shield against the humid world. Cylindrical capacitors are seated by automated arms before the boards move through wave soldering stations. High-pressure air cleans the surfaces as the boards are gathered in anti-static trays. Electronic needles probe the circuits with microscopic precision, verifying the flow of energy through the complex, winding copper paths of the board. Under the microscope, we see a copper labyrinth of golden LAN ports and heat-pressed power sockets. Rhythmic rows of LED lights are soldered to the front, ready to signal the machine's status to the user. The finished motherboard shines like a miniature city at night, a masterpiece of modern engineering ready to breathe life into the air. Ultra-thin coaxial cables are wound into coils as lasers strip the insulation without touching the core. Nearby, high-pressure injection molders create the protective plastic housing for the antennas. The copper conductors are threaded inside before hydraulic presses secure the rotating joints, ensuring the signal can be directed with total freedom. Pure white ABS resin flows into massive molds, creating sleek cabinets with intricate cooling vents. Robotic arms pluck the warm shells from their birthplace, placing them on cooling tables where CNC machines smooth every edge. A matte, anti-fingerprint coating is applied, giving the device a premium and modern texture for the modern home. Lasers etch the icons of power and connectivity onto the surface, while robotic arms install rubber feet and aluminum heat sinks. Silver thermal grease is applied to the CPU to ensure peak performance under the heaviest loads. Underneath, a honeycomb pattern of vents waits to dissipate the heat generated by the intense digital traffic within. Reset and WPS buttons are tested for their resilience as the cabinet passes through an ionized air bath to remove every speck of dust. The finished shells are stacked in perfect order, reflecting the factory lights with a sophisticated glow. Every mechanical part is now ready, waiting for the final assembly that will unite them with the board. Robots gently nest the motherboard into the lower shell as automated screwdrivers lock the corners with perfect torque. Antenna cables are snapped into their tiny ports and routed carefully through the rotating joints. The top cover is then pressed home, finalizing the structural bond of the machine in a seamless and sturdy marriage. The first firmware is flashed into the system as lines of code race across the test screens. The LEDs begin their first startup flicker, signaling the birth of a new connection. MAC addresses and serial numbers are logged by robots before technical labels are laser printed onto the base, marking the device's unique identity for the world. Mechanical hands test the reset functions as the external antennas are snapped into their upright positions. After a final burst of ionized air to ensure total purity, the finished router appears under the studio lights. It is no longer just plastic and copper. It is a functional node of the global network, ready to provide the gift of speed. Inside anechoic chambers filled with foam spikes, we measure the intensity of the invisible signal. Sine waves dance across our screens, proving the stability and strength of the radio frequency. We push the limits through simulated walls and 50-degree heat, ensuring the connection remains unbreakable even in the most difficult environments. From drop tests to high-load simulations with 50 devices, every parameter is verified for peak reliability. Thermal cameras monitor the heat as robots test the durability of the LAN ports through thousands of cycles. We ensure total resistance to interference, building a fortress of signal that will stand strong against the noise of other electronics. Technical certifications are laser etched onto the casing before the devices are moved back to the packaging line. Thousands of finished routers are gathered, a silent army of connectivity ready to leave the factory. They are the result of rigorous testing and a relentless pursuit of the perfect, uninterrupted signal for the modern user. Invisible blue waves now radiate from the device, filling the room with the pulse of information. From smart lighting to modern appliances, every node is connected through the air. Sunlight shines upon the router as it bridges the gap between continents, creating a bridge of light that links humanity across the vast reaches of the globe. The future of Wi-Fi will be powered by the very air it travels through, built from sustainable green materials that respect the planet. A transparent nanoshield protects every component as we look down from satellites at our connected cities. The silence of the device hides an infinite flow of knowledge, delivered through the speed of light. From 3D blueprints to the reality of human connection, our design merges into the fabric of life. In the quiet of the night, the automated factory continues its dance. One final signal sweeps across the lens, a symbol of a world without limits. We are connecting the future, one heartbeat at a time. Connectivity for all, forever.